Good afternoon, students. Today we'll discuss about a time varying field Maxwell's equations. This is Dr. Sharma, Professor, BBC Engineering College, Autonomous, Guadalajara. Now we are going to discuss about the Faraday's experiment. There are three types of pillars are to be there for developing the Maxwell's equations and electromagnetic fields. So one of the experiment or one of the pillar is nothing but the Faraday's experiment. So before going to discuss about the Faraday's experiment, what is a Faraday's law of induction? Faraday's law of induction states that an EMF is induced whenever the magnetic flux linkage changes. An EMF is induced in a conductor when the conductor cuts the magnetic flux. So the magnitude of the induced EMF is equal to the rate of change of flux linkage. This is mathematically represented as induced EMF is equal to V, that is equal to minus N d phi by dt volts. Here V is nothing but the induced EMF volts and N is nothing but the number of turns and pi is nothing but the magnetic flux which is to be measured in Webers. Where the negative sign indicates that the induced EMF sets up a current in such a direction that the magnetic effect produced by it opposes the very cause producing it. Next one is about the magnetic flux we have to know. It is defined as the lines of force produced in the medium surrounding electric currents or magnets. The flux through an area is measured from the current flow in an electric circuit bounding the area when this circuit is removed from the magnetic field, or it is otherwise defined as the surface integral of magnetic flux density, that is phi is equal to minus surface integral of B dot ds. That is the fourth Maxwell's equation. There we are discussed about that minus surface integral of B dot ds. So with respect to that, this is about the Faraday's experiment. We are connecting a toroidal iron core here and a battery which is to be connected. Whenever the battery is on, the switch is to be on, then automatically this is about the primary coil and that is to be induced in the secondary coil, and with respect to that the voltage which is to be measured in the compass. So upon closing the switch, the current begins to flow in the primary coil. A momentary deflection of the compass needle indicates a brief surge of current flowing in the secondary coil. So the compass needle quickly settles back to zero. Upon opening the switch, another brief deflection of the compass needle is observed. So based on that, we are writing about the induced EMF V is equal to minus d phi by dt. So here phi is nothing but the flux. So the electromotive force induced around a closed surface, around a closed loop C, is equal to the time rate of decrease of the magnetic flux linking that loop, that is equal to V induced is equal to minus d phi by dt. So from this Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, we know that phi is equal to surface integral of B dot ds. Here S is any surface bounded by the C. So from that V induced is equal to circular surface integral of E dot dl. So with respect to that, circular surface integral of E dot dl is equal to minus d phi by dt of surface integral of B dot ds. This is the integral form of the Faraday's law. This is one of the important form for developing the Maxwell's equation. And applying the Stokes theorem, surface integral of E dot dl is equal to surface integral of del cross E dot ds. So with respect to that, assuming the stationary surfaces here, so as we know that circular line integral of E dot dl is equal to, we know that minus dy by dt of surface integral of B dot ds. So substitute this one in this one, then automatically it is equivalent to minus surface integral of dou b by dou t dot ds. Dou b by dou t. So this is totally called as minus B dot. And since the above must hold for the S, we have del cross E is equal to minus dou B by dou T. This is the differential form of the Faraday's law, assuming a stationary frame reference. Faraday's law states that a changing magnetic field induces an electric field. This induced electric field is a non-conservative. Faraday's law. So the electromotive force which is to be induced around a closed loop is equal to the time rate of decrease of the magnetic flux linking the loop. So V induced is equal to minus d pi by dt. So for a coil of n tightly wound turns, V is equal to minus n d phi by dt. Here n is nothing but the number of turns. So as we know that from the figure, it is nothing but the number of turns wounded on a toroidal iron coil. So with respect to that, that number of turns are to be identified here. And V induced is equal to minus n d phi by dt. So pi is equal to surface integral of B dot ds. So V induced is equal to line surface integral, circular integral of E dot ds. Here S is nothing but any surface bounded by the line. So the Faraday's law is applied to situations where the B field is a function of time, or the surface derivative is a function of time, or B and ds are the function of time. These are the three important points you have to remember while you are studying about the Faraday's law. So the induced EMF is a circuit can be separated into two terms. There are two types of EMFs which are to be induced. One is about the transformer EMF, and second one is about the motional EMF. So due to the time rate change of the magnetic flux field, that is to be called as a transformer EMF. Due to the motion of the circuit, that is to be called as motional EMF. So these two are to be the very important EMFs which are to be induced in this one. So one is about the transformer EMF and second one is about the motional EMF. So V induced is equal to minus d by dt of surface integral of B dot ds. So from this we observe that minus surface integral of dB by dt into ds plus surface integral, circular integral of V into B dot dl. So here minus surface integral of dou B by dou T is nothing but the transformer EMF. Why? Because means the transformer EMF is nothing but the time rate changes of the B field. So from that only the change is to be occurred in the flux. That's why it is to be called as a time rate change with respect to the time. So the rate change, time rate change in the magnetic field. That's why it is to be called as a transformer EMF. And here we are mentioning with the motion velocity of the moving particle. So with respect to that moving charging particle, so with respect to that is to be called as the motional EMF. So there are two types of EMFs which are to be induced. One is about the transformer EMF and second one is about the motional EMF. So next one is about the second pillar is about the Ampere's law of the continuity equation. So the differential form of the Ampere's law in the static case del cross H is equal to J plus dou D by J plus D dot. D dot is nothing but the time derivative of dou D by dou T, time derivative of the electric flux. So with respect to that, the continuity equation del dot J is plus dou D by dou T, that is equal to 0. Here dou D by dou T is equal to 0 for the static field. So with respect to that, del cross H is equal to J. This is the continuity equation of the Ampere's law. Ampere's law continuity equation in the time varying case, Ampere's law in the above form is a inconsistent with the continuity equation del dot J is equal to del dot del cross H. J is nothing but the del cross H. So del dot del cross H, that is equal to 0. So it is the Ampere's inconsistency in the Ampere's law. So this is very important or useful equation for you. So Ampere's law and the continuity equation, we may resolve the inconsistency. Maxwell modified the total Ampere's law to read as del cross H is equal to J plus dou D by dou T. That is nothing but the D dot. D dot is nothing but dou D by dou T is nothing but the displacement current density, and J is nothing but the conduction current density. So we must know the difference between the different current densities like conduction current density, displacement current density, and convection current density. So Ampere's law in the continuity equation, the new form of the Ampere's law is inconsistent with the continuity equation as well as with the differential form of the Gauss law. As we know that Gauss law is nothing but del dot D. So with respect to the del dot JC plus rho by dou T of del dot D is equal to del dot del cross H is equal to 0. This is the continuity equation of the Ampere's law. So from that law we may write as del cross H is equal to JC plus JD. Here JC is nothing but the conduction current density and JD is nothing but the displacement current density, where JD is to be defined as dou D by dou T, that is nothing but the displacement current density, which is to be measured in the amperes per meter square. So what is meant by the displacement current density? So the displacement current is the type of current that flows between the plates of a capacitor. Suppose for example, if we take a capacitor, it consisting of two plates. So with respect to that, whenever the charging is to be increased, that means whenever the voltage is to be supplied, with respect to that, the charging is to be carried on in between that one. That means from one plate to the other plate, the charging particles are to be moving. With respect to that, the charging is to be there. So after, as you already know that while you are using the capacitor, it may require some refreshing circuit wherever we are using. Why? Because means after some time the charging may be discharged, the capacitor's charge may be discharged. So for again getting the charge, we have to use a refreshing circuit here there. So displacement current is the type of the current that flows between the plates of a capacitor. So the displacement current is the mechanism which allows the electromagnetic waves to propagate in a non-conducting medium. So displacement current is a consequence of the three experimental pillars of the electromagnetics. So from all this we know that once if we observe here, the Maxwell's equations we are also written in the phasor form or in a time harmonic field, as we have already discussed previously. So E bar is equal to Em sin omega t or Em cos omega t. So Em is nothing but the maximum energy, and the omega is nothing but the 2 pi ff is nothing but the frequency of the time varying field. Del cross E is equal to minus j omega mu plus sigma into h minus k, and del cross h is equal to minus j omega epsilon plus sigma e into e plus ji, and del dot E is equal to q ev by epsilon, and del cross h del dot h is equal to q mv by mu. These are the useful equations which are to be represented in the time fields, time harmonic fields in the simple medium. And next one we are going to discuss about the Maxwell's curl equations for the time harmonic fields in the simple medium using complex permittivity and permeability. So del cross E is equal to minus j omega mu h. So here mu h is nothing but the complex permeability, and epsilon del cross h is equal to j omega epsilon E plus j. Here epsilon is nothing but the complex permittivity. Based on this permeability and permittivity, the Maxwell's equations may are also to be applicable. So from all the points what we have discussed up to now, we have finally deduced that there are four important equations are to be there for the Maxwell. Faraday's law of induction, del cross E is equal to minus dou B by dou T, and Ampere's law, del cross H is equal to J plus dou D by dou T. Gauss law for electricity, del dot D is equal to rho V, and Gauss law for magnetism, del dot B is equal to 0. These four are the important Maxwell's equations, and these Maxwell's equations have some constituent relations. D is equal to epsilon E, and B is equal to mu H, and J is equal to sigma E. So what is D here? D is nothing but the electric flux, and E is nothing but the electric field strength, and epsilon is nothing but the permittivity, and B is equal to mu H. Here B is nothing but the magnetic flux, and H is nothing but the magnetic field strength, and mu is nothing but the permeability, and J is equal to sigma into E. J is nothing but the conduction density, and E is nothing but the electric field strength. Sigma is nothing but the conductivity. So they are the relate the electromagnetic field to properties of the material in which the field exists. And together the Maxwell's equations, the constituent relations completely describe the electromagnetic field. Even the electromagnetic fields in a nonlinear medium can be described through a nonlinear existing in the constitutive relations. And if we write the same equations in the integral form, Faraday's law, the line integral of E dot dl is equal to minus integral of surface integral of dou b by dou t into ds. And Ampere's law, line integral of h dot dl is equal to minus integral of surface integral of dou d by dou t plus j into ds. And Gauss law for the electricity, circular surface integral of d dot ds is equal to volume integral of rho v dv. And Gauss law for the magnetism, circular surface integral of b dot ds is equal to 0. So we may convert the Maxwell's equations from the integral form to the differential form, or the differential form to the integral form. And at final we are going to discuss about the different types of media. There are five types of media can be there. One is about the homogeneous medium and non-homogeneous medium, isotropic medium and anti-isotropic medium, and source-free region medium. So homogeneous medium, based on this permeability, permittivity and conductivity, these mediums are to be classified into five types. Homogeneous medium, if the medium for which the permeability and permittivity and conductivity are constant throughout the medium, such a medium is to be called as an homogeneous medium. Example, free space. And a non-homogeneous medium, it is a medium where the permittivity, permeability and conductivity are the non-constants, and they are different from point to point in the medium, that is to be called as a non-homogeneous medium. For example, human body. And isotropic medium, it is the medium for which epsilon is a scalar constant. Here example for this one is free space. Anisotropic medium, a medium for which epsilon is not a constant, not a scalar constant. For example, human body. Here epsilon is nothing but the permittivity. And source free region, it is a medium in which there are no field sources, that are to be called as the source free region. So from this we have discussed about the time varying field, and we may convert these Maxwell's equations from one form to the another form, and we have discussed about the three pillars of Maxwell's equations and electromagnetic field equations. That will be helpful for us while you are going to learn about the electromagnetic wave characteristics further. Thank you.